This video is about creating colors in Mokulito prints. It's a follow-up to a video I made about making Mokulito plate and printing it in black and white. I'm using the same plate as I used in my previous video. You can get a link to it in the description or here. And I've used the same plate to create color. This is the outcome. I use two different ways of creating color. One is by inking up with a colored ink, which here you can see three different sort of strips of different color ink. So I've inked up with different colors ink, but I've also used watercolor in the areas which are not etched. And as a result, you get this really moody, I've used similar color to the ink of the watercolor, and as a result you get this kind of moody but colorful print. So this video is about two different techniques that you can use in creating color in Mokulito prints. There will also be some bonus material at the end where I'm going to show you how I've created more depth into my Mokulito print by creating a relief print overlay afterwards. Hope you enjoy the video. So here is my Mokulito plate from the previous video I made about making the Mokulito plate, and that was only printed in black and white. So if you want to find out how I made this plate, go to this video. I rolled out some raw amber ink, and then I mixed up some Prussian blue with raw amber to get this sort of Payne's grey, and I'm creating quite a thin layer of ink. If you enjoy watching my videos and would like to help to support me to make more videos, you can do it in three ways. You can either like and subscribe, which is a great help already. You can become my channel member and get extra perks and extra content, as well as some monthly meetups, by clicking on join button on my homepage of the channel, or you can do a super thanks on an individual video or donate to my channel. Thanks for watching. And this is just a standard green I got straight out of the tube. These are all oil-based ink. So I have to, as I did in my previous video, I have to wet the plywood plate. It has to be soaking wet, and I do it with a sponge, and then I roll my ink over. I start with blue, and I'm going to do green now, and then right in the middle the amber. And I have to do this process several times, just like I did in creating the black and white print. And what it's doing is that the oily ink is sticking to the oily areas on the plate, and the wet areas of our ink are repelling it. And you have to do this several times. So ink up, thin layer of ink, wipe off with that wet sponge, and ink up again. And you can do it as many times as you want, 4 times, 3-4 times, sometimes 5 times is good. I am now adding watercolor in all the places that there is no oily substance on the plate. That watercolor will be also repelled, because it's a watercolor, it will also be repelled by the oily structure on the plate when I give it a wipe with a wet sponge. So these two methods are essentially the methods you can use to create color on Mokulito plates. So one is by using different color inks, and one is using watercolor. You can use both methods together, or you could just ink up in black with a black ink, but use color inks underneath. So this plate is now placed on a printing press. I have runners on both sides. The previous video also shows how to make these runners. The paper was wetted, 300 GSM paper, in a water bath for 20 minutes and pat dried. And here is the print. So just to to give you a warning about this print. Well, the areas that were supposed to be white didn't come out completely white, and that is because this plate has already been used before. So the non-print areas have already got a little bit of the oily ink inside its crevices in plywood. So it's not completely clean. It would have printed a lot cleaner if I just did it in the first run. However, this is pretty good anyway, and you can decide to add the color a lot earlier in a print before you do your black and white proof print. It's completely up to you. There's also a very common problem with Mokulito printmaking is if you roll up ink too thick, it will go over the non-etched areas, which can cause a problem, and you won't get as high contrast. So roll your ink very thin, and you might have to repeat the process, but it's important not to use too much ink. So here is my bonus material. I'm going to create some relief overlay printmaking from lino plates that I've had lying around, and through using masking I'm just adding small detail just to add a bit of depth into my print. I felt like I wanted some more contrast, and this kind of relief printing overlay has given me the opportunity to do that. So just to show you that you don't have to stop at using watercolors or ink, you can actually relief print on top of your Mokulito print, which I think it is really good fun as well, because you have so much going on in the background and this sort of mysterious, moody atmosphere, but you can also add some sharp contrast in this overlay print. So here it is. This is the end result. I'm really rather pleased with it, and I love combining Mokulito with relief printmaking, and also you have that wood engraving as well, which is fantastic. So many different printmaking techniques can create something quite unique and unusual. Thank you for watching.